experimental things now also TCS spent. Why I am telling these things? Then it has been given that each department they should make their own database, and we developed our database. I developed a subtype sarcoma database myself, putting all these things. When we developed, and as usual, what I was telling you, why research is becoming paramount importance in INIs. Then we discussed that the total practice is different from West to us. Subtype sarcoma totally. When I take this database, that time I'm telling 80 patients, I'll say I removed from the record room, totally like dust, everything. And when I discussed and individually called, 70% already died, only 15% survived. Such a frustrating database. But now it is 1200 database and totally different guidelines. Our treatment planning is different from others. We developed our guidelines in subtype sarcoma. And what do all the students are telling? What is the most common sarcoma? We are reading like the liposarcoma. But in India, this becomes the synovial sarcoma. Then become the MPNST. So what is the difference? That's why our evidence we have to develop. That's why the Professor Bell has transformed ICMR, because these were the things we were discussing in ICMR is very close to all Indian Institute of Medical Science. There is so good interaction. Always thinking why we follow the outside people. Now every department, every person in India is responsible to keep their own data. I was in a survival fellowship in London School of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene. There is Professor Kaur, who is the major main author in that survival, who is giving that all multinational research for the survivors he published in Lancet. He was telling to pin down one surgeon in Manchester, they took 25 years because there is no data, because he was such a practice, like he was so reputed surgeon, to pin down, because when they evaluated the whole, I will just let you know that the survivor in Europe is the worst in the UK, the best in Scandinavia. They pinned down that one surgeon, is a very legendary surgeon, but the survival goes down because of him. Because this is my practice, I will do like this. They said they took 25 years to pin down that surgeon with all evidence, then they scrapped the registration. That's why the importance of evidence. When we are telling this is my practice, I have done this, that era has gone. You have to develop your own database. Each department, we may discuss like evidence-based, where you will get the evidence. If you will put garbage, you will get the garbage. That's why first develop your own database in your department. What practice you are doing? Ask whether we are doing the right thing, put it. Even you are not doing right things, put it. Audit it, and over that. Very small department I started in surgical oncology in AIIMS Medical Science, Bhubaneswar. Within 5 years we surpassed the AIIMS Delhi, ISS surgical oncology. We dedicated one associate professor. And that time I negotiated with the director 15 computers. Our own server was there. And that learning was there. First 6 months our resident would learn the database. And he, Professor Dilip, developed the database in line of what we have trained in ISS surgical oncology. We developed our own database and practice totally different. When you compare CA breast survival in North, it is different in East, because the ERPR receptor is different. Triple negative incidence is more in Eastern India than North, and triple negative breast cancer is more in India than in the West. And the incidence is 10 years ahead. Like all these new things came. I am sharing one. ICMR first started the cancer atlas in 2002 with the help of WHO. What we learned that time is CS stomach is most common in Madras, like Chennai. Totally different. This become like Mizoram is the highest incidence of CS stomach. They say how important to keep our own data. It's maybe hospital-based cancer history first, then you put it. Like all, this is I am giving an example because I am a oncologist, oncosurgeon, and I developed database. That's why I tell you how important it is. I discussed always that. And like you must be knowing the Srushti. No, that innovative TBI in IIT Indore. They presented, that in Delhi, there was 200 delegates and almost 40 people they presented, all IIT professionals. And I asked, who is developing any database? You are discussing so many. No. Then how can we tell that this is the evidence based? What you are practicing, how authentic, how truthfully you are putting that data into your database. Then you will see everywhere this is data cooking. What we are telling, data cooking. First you put the data, then people do the data cooking. During data cooking they manipulate many things, then you will get the things different. That's why the evidence-based medicine now is coming. All if you go in ICMR, the all guidelines in cancer is there. The other now the rare diseases are coming. So much for the young generation to opportunities to develop. In the backdrop, why research is more important? Without research, it is not interesting to do the clinical practice. That's why I am telling, everyone will not be adapted or absorbed in the institute. Still, it is a great plan. Because I said, for some time I went outside AIIMS, like Delhi, then practice, then come back to AIIMS. But during that private things, I have done my PhD, I have done my own data, I keep data till date now. I am evaluating where we are missing, I am contacting the patients, lot of learning. And that gives the insights how we will grow. That's why not like that you will be only in AIIMS or in PGI you can do. Now the digital world, computer, first that computer we have taken, each resident has been advised in the ISS surgical oncology to buy a computer. 3 months salary we buy one first computer. When there's a desktop that time. This is develop the interest among the residents. And first 6 months I am sharing with you, first 6 months in surgical oncology we don't allow to go to OT. In ISS surgical oncology and Bhubaneswar. Why? They have to be acquainted with the database. Each organ-based database. They have to be acquainted with the system. They have to be acquainted with the whole institute. And they will be acquainted with the whole staff, how they are taking care, everything. Then OT, systematic training. The same way I expect everyone should go the training, develop your residency program. I'm telling every time residency program establishment is the biggest hurdle in all institutes, and that is the biggest boon to the institute. What you have seen, Dr. Sikha was telling, that is the achievements. Residents, they are the source of inspiration to the faculties. After residency establishment, 50% you are free from the clinical care. That 50% you will guide, another 50% you do your research and practice. And each individual having every responsibility. So why I am telling this is the divide 50% to the institute, 50% your personal growth. Out of 50%, how you divide the research, then writing the book, all these things. And once the database is done, publication is so easy. I will share my department. Within 5 years, we went to like one publication, 2 publications, like every month, every year, 25 publications, some small department. Only database, everything is there. And for residents, is a training, that database. When they go through, they know everything. And then go to the OPD, they see all this I have to see. And what is the then audit? That is a database. Discharge, that is in database. Everything, follow-up is in database. You make it like that, and individually you can do your own. This is a good thing, like the Professor Bell has taken these challenges. Initially when he joined, the age-old people were there, that Iman must be young, but you were very young that time, whether you were joined that time, I don't know. People think, what is mad, he is doing like this. But all good things are ridiculed first. All achievers, they ridicule first. People are ridicule, what are they are doing? That's why the students, you will go through good things for 4 phases. Any good things, people will ridicule. What the mad, he is doing like this. Then they will antagonize. Your efforts, people will antagonize. This is because you are, kya kar rahe hai, so we are doing so as old things, as new things, kya dekhte hain. Third, they will accept. Third stage, no yaar, please do it. Because you have to continue to do it. fourth stage they will follow. This is typical evidence-based medicine. Initially you will think, what is their 10 साल का practice मेरा है, I will do like this, what is they are showing this. Then you will think they are putting wrong data. Hard thing they will, oh, नहीं, और 10 years का data बोल रहे हैं, ठीक है. Then you will know. Now this becomes the guideline. Means that type of patients, you have to keep in department, each department, and persistent effort. Thank you so much for giving the chance, and all the best. I think these 2 days that will give you good insight, and everyone should go with that idea. They have to develop this evidence-based treatment their own. Initially you cannot change. Any change is very hard. Any change initially is very hard, but you have to be persistent. You have to try up to 66 days, then you will go into the automaticity. Means 2 months continuously you practice, now I will do, then you will be in the line. Then try to change others. Always change yourself to develop anything. Don't go others like someone is your other residency program is not there, people are going 9 to 5, but my residency will be 24/7. People are telling this is very stressful, people will suicide, all these things, that is a different way of things. How you are making your department more friendly. People will leave their home, they will stay in your department. That type of atmosphere within you. It's not like stressful. People are choosing AIIMS to come to here for the post-graduation, everything. Why they will leave? Okay? All the best. Thank you all. And hope this will give a good insight, and future is there for India, and DHR idea will be successful. Thank you so much.